Okay, I want to tell you about how my frustration with cheap mechanical pencils led me to make my own mechanical erasers. So, I'm a mechanical engineer, and when I was in school for mechanical engineering, I was a little slow at exams, and I'd actually always be the last one out of the classroom when we were taking exams. I struggled a little bit with math. I was all right at it, but it just took me a little bit longer than some other kids. And during the exams, it'd be frustrating whenever you're writing whatever, and then your lead just breaks. And and sometimes the room would be hot, and my fingers would slip down the pencil, and all this stuff costs extra time. And I'm like, well, I need all the time I can get. These pencils aren't working for me. There's got to be better mechanical pencils out there. So I looked around, and I did end up finding better mechanical pencils. I have three of them here. They have nice knurled grips, so your fingers don't slide. Um, some of these mechanical pencils are made so well that you can have 0.5 millimeter lead, and it's stronger than one of these in 0.7 millimeter lead. So these pencils are better, but then they come with the issue that they have these little tiny erasers, and well, it's not enough for an exam. You could go through 10 of those in one exam during college. So I needed a separate eraser. That led me into thinking, well, I can get like a brick eraser and just write with the pencil and erase with the brick eraser. And that's fine. A lot of people do that. But I, I just found that these pencils were so nice that now I have a nice pencil, but just I didn't like using the brick erasers. So I looked around and found some other options out there. There's some that click out, and I like these quite a bit, but I found that, well, I have a nice pencil now. This thing's knurled, it has metal components, and I went from a cheap plastic pencil, but now I have a cheap plastic eraser. I ended up looking through a bunch of different erasers, and some are better than others. This one's a pretty nice eraser. I ended up buying a bunch of different erasers, and well, some of these are too small. I mean, they're great if you're doing art, but that's a little bit too small for erasing math mistakes. This one was actually a good size, a little bit on the small side maybe, but it was an okay size because it's long and you can keep on clicking it out. The issue was it didn't erase enough. Like when you write down and then you erase it, you can still kind of see it. And it's the sort of thing where if you erase with this one, you could come by with a different brick eraser, you could get more erased. So the eraser itself was not doing a good enough job. Some of these I liked quite a bit. I liked these two the most, although, like I said, they're still just plastic erasers. Some of the ones that are bigger were good, and I just like something that was a little bit more precise. So something like this is great for erasing two lines of mistakes, but sometimes you want a little bit more precision than that. And I tried a bunch of different brick erasers as well. So I wanted an eraser that would erase completely, that was made well and had a good grip. So I ended up making my own. What I did was I took one of these erasers, I took it apart, took the internals out, and then put it inside the stainless tube and add this nice stainless button on top. So it was a pretty simple design, didn't take too much work, and it actually worked. I used the eraser from one of these mechanical pencils, and I put it in here, and it worked for a while until it started to wear out because the internals were plastic. These guys use plastic internals. There's one brass ring, but the rest is the actual part that holds everything is plastic. So I ended up playing around with adding a grip. That's why this one's all destroyed. I heated it up and melted the internals accidentally, but that I could see wasn't going to work. So I tried another design where I took a nice Stedler mechanical pencil. So a pencil like this, except it took 2 millimeter lead, and I essentially put the mechanism right up here and press fit it inside of here. So again, I use these large erasers, and they're about that long, and I could click it out of there, but that one ended up wearing out also, and the eraser would slide up inside of here, and it wouldn't hold on to it forever. So that didn't work, and I decided that maybe I need to redesign and go after something like this. So one of the issues that I found was with these mechanical erasers, they use this plastic tube, and it's essentially a mechanical pencil up here that works to hold this plastic tube, and then that moves the eraser in and out. Well, that didn't hold the eraser as well as some of these that it holds on to the big long eraser itself. So the mechanism here is holding onto the eraser, whereas the mechanism here is just holding on to this plastic tube. So you can get more grip onto the eraser itself. So I decided that I'll try to make something like that out of metal. So designing one in metal is going to be much more difficult than just taking a mechanism out of one working product and putting it into stainless steel. So I looked at a few erasers, and I kind of liked these two the most. I liked the size of this one, but I found that this one was too heavy. When it's made into metal, it's heavy, so I'd have to make the metal very thin, and it would be difficult to design something that's lightweight that holds an eraser this size. I also just think once it's metal and it's that size, it feels a little bit too chunky in the hand, whereas these erasers, they can be slimmer. I think I can make the design slimmer than this eraser. It's pretty thick as well, but I think I could make it thinner, maybe even as thin as this eraser here. So I designed them on the computer, and I was able to 3D print a couple prototypes. So this was my original design, but a friend of mine said that the grip section should go up higher, and I agreed. So I redesigned, made the grip section go up higher. I modeled this one after the shape of some of the mechanical pencils. And this one ended up melting, but it used to look a lot better. I tried to make it functional, and I have some components, but they're too small, so I wasn't able to 3D print the components in a way that they would be functional and not just break. I'm pretty happy with the shape of this. I think my design on the computer is good enough to make something. So I think I'll try to make this in metal, and that'll be the next step. My idea with this YouTube channel is to show off my process of trying to figure out if I can make this eraser as a product that other people might buy. I think that it is a good product that I like, and maybe other people will want it. It's a lot better than a brick eraser, in my opinion, for erasing small mistakes. And one other thing that I like about these erasers is that you can clip them on. I like to hold my pens and pencils on the side here, so you can clip everything on the side, and can't do that as easily with a brick eraser. So I'm gonna see maybe if I can get it manufactured, or maybe I'll manufacture it myself, but we'll see how much it costs or if it's even feasible. But this will be my process of trying to see if I can make a product and sell it. If not, I'll have an eraser in the end, and I'm happy with that because I want an eraser.